I think for a long time, what we've said the cycle is that the people themselves don't seem to have enough of the fortitude and gumption and will to move themselves up and out. And if you look at all the studies, the fact that upward mobility is still a big issue in our town, I think we got to take an honest look at ourselves, those of us who are the service providers and the helpers, and say, what are the cycles in our mind that we think help and they're not really helping? It really is possible to think about really breaking the cycle of non-chronic homelessness in the lives of families and individuals in our city. And we want to be a part of that. That's a whole new cycle for our city.
I remember being in the car one day and they must have been like stealing from this mall, and me and my sister are in the back seat, and my mom comes running out and she has all these clothes. And my dad's like, come on, come on. And you know, we're kids, so we're in the back seat laughing. So we're riding down the highway and she's chucking the clothes out the window. We drive all the way home, and my mom takes us in the house. And I remember that was the first time I ever saw my parents get arrested.
When I was coming up as a little girl with my mom and my dad, I ain't gonna say it was a pleasant relationship, you know, it's more like an abusive relationship. I always saw my mom make bad choices in men. She would always find bad mans in the same style as my dad, you know, abusive, always cheated, and it was a pattern there, like she always put guys before me. So I made the choice when I got 16, that's when I wanted to stay with my father. That's how I I ain't gonna say that's when I got introduced to crack cocaine. I had goals, I had dreams, and I didn't get to fulfill my dreams.
Anybody can give anybody keys to an apartment and a house and say, you're off the streets now, you should be fine. But when you look at the person, that they're a whole person, they have intellect, they have physical component, they have a spiritual component, a social component. And understanding that, why would we just focus on one aspect of them by giving them keys? That's been done when they come in and you ask them, they've had housing, but they've never had nobody to deal with them as a whole person.
And that's what the 8 dimensions of wellness is. It's an actual proven model, a principle-centered model that helps people who've experienced a crisis move through the crisis successfully, even while they may still be in the throes of the crisis. And like our folks, we're looking at the entire spectrum of needs that they may have: emotional, environmental, spiritual. And so for us, the answer to affordable housing is to give them an opportunity to be fully transformed. And then as they move into those permanent living spaces, they're different. And because they're different, then their community's different. And that's what we're doing now. We're doing it like never before.
Me and the kids were homeless for at least about 5 months. And my thing was, like my mother, I always made bad choices in men. And my kids' father, my kids were molested by him. And at the time, I wasn't aware of it. I didn't care. At the time, I was worried about getting high instead of worried about them. That's when I gave up on me. That's when I went harder on crack cocaine. That's when I wanted to commit suicide. That's when I wanted to hurt people. And I was incarcerated. I was incarcerated for 1.5 years. And then that's when foster care stepped in and they took all my kids. So after that happened, I had to realize if I ever wanted them back, I had to break free from the cycle.
So I remember visiting my mom in prison, but she was more of a stranger. I didn't know her. It was this horrible, gaping feeling of emptiness. And I break down. I'm like, why doesn't my mom love me? Why doesn't she want me? She had never said it. And I felt that way for a really long time. And I knew, I was like, I could never treat my children like that. I always have to let them know that I love them.
I believe that we are called to radical reconciliation.
This is God's work. It's not about us. This is God's work. From every case management meeting, from every pointing them to every resource, we looking like we're doing this for Jesus. We understand that this work here is not only ringing out here in Charlotte, in the world, but it's ringing out in heaven. And we want to hear God say, well done. So that's why we do what we do.
I think I'm in the best place ever. 3 years ago, I didn't have this smile, I didn't have this glow. I know I have grown. And I know I'm happy. And my babies are happy. And they taught me how to love. They taught me there is people out here that don't harm your kids. And I'm here determined to do everything in my will to get what I need for me and my boys. So I get a warm, tingling feeling in my heart because I'm free.
And so I came into the program, and I did not know at that time what Harvest Center was preparing in me. By this time, I was studying for my bachelor's degree. And I think I broke down because here I am homeless out of everything I've accomplished. I'm first generation everything. First to graduate high school, first to finish community college. I just want to finish school. I just want to finish what I started. So, long story short, I graduated early. I finished in February. We did it! We just started fresh. We started new, and God has just been amazing and renewing us every day. And I would have never gotten to that point by myself. And I feel as though the Harvest Center was ripening me for the picking. So they were just planting little seeds here and there. And then it just all blossomed in perfect timing.
So it's those things that we get to see God weekly, daily, breaking these cycles and these curses off of people's lives. And it's amazing.